everybody. Happy Thursday evening. Hope everybody is having a nice, relaxing evening at home. Here goes another video. This is a commentary on the T.I. and Tiny sex crimes saga. This time you're going to hear from the lawyer who's, assisting the victims of T.I. and Tiny. And here I am thinking about what is my next YouTube video going to be about.
Okay, so as you guys already know, I am following the T.I. and Tiny sex crimes trial. It hasn't started, but it's going to be really interesting. I believe that T.I. and Tiny will probably lose half of their fortune to, try to stay out of jail. I believe that a lot of people are going to, become rich off of this, and I guess T.I. and Tiny are gonna have to give up their comfortable lifestyle of being wealthy, and I think the American government is gonna make a lot of money from this, and maybe some of the victims are gonna make some money out of this, but in reality what's really important is that there's other people that have done much worse than these two, and these are the same people that we're watching all the time on TV. I'm waiting for someone to drag 50 Cent, Snoop, Dr. Dre, and all those other hip-hop artists that were raping teenagers in the 90s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and maybe even now. Like, there's a lot of people that have done the same or worse, and all of a sudden, you don't hear from them. 50 Cent and Snoop, they have been treating women like garbage for centuries. I mean, for decades. But anyway, so here's the lawyer. Here's T.I. and Tiny's prosecutor.
That is the best course to take. That way these women are protected from T.I. and his associates.
Hi, Ellie Andrews from the Jasmine brand. I was wondering, what are these women seeking when it comes to them planning to sue?
What they're seeking is justice. That's all they've been seeking this entire time, justice. These women have never put forth a request for money. They've never asked for money. Again, like I said just now, a few seconds ago, Steve Sadow, maybe he misspoke. Maybe he misspoke to the New York Times. Because I'll tell you right now, I didn't ask him for $1. And from what I got from the conversations that we had, from the emails, they were very interested in killing this story and killing these claims. They didn't want this to get out.
Okay, so this is the lawyer who is representing the victims, and he is not playing. He's young. He's gonna make a name for himself, from all of this that's happening. He is going to, these are his 15 minutes, but if you hear what he is saying is like, we are after these criminals. He's saying, we don't care about you have all this money. We are going to put you in jail. It's kind of like the same way how they wanted to put Michael Jackson in jail or something like that, or I would say the way they went after, Bill Cosby, that, there was actually there were a lot of women with these different stories, but the point is Bill Cosby is now in jail, and I think that T.I. and Tiny will go to jail, but, it's just something that is going to eventually make them lose money, but then again, they might not, because their children are older, and their kids are making money, so let's see what's going on.
If T.I. and Tiny did nothing wrong, then they should have nothing to worry about. They should want the investigation to go through. They should want the women's stories to be investigated. They should want the authorities to speak to their witnesses to corroborate and to see if their stories are corroborated. And if nothing happened, then they have nothing to be worried about.
Exactly. If you're innocent of a crime, you continue defending yourself, and the truth always will come out. If you guys were just, you were having wild sex orgies, and in those sex orgies, people were getting hurt, and you guys were probably too high to even understand that you were committing crimes. I believe that this is something that happens a lot, in the industry, but nowadays, people can actually make money for something, like the groupies have been around since the beginning of forever, so, but just because you're a groupie, it doesn't mean that you should be getting raped and drugged and, So let's see what's going on.
And when it comes to Shekinah, what are you guys thinking of her?
Well, Shekinah defamed Sabrina Peterson's character, and then 3 days later she attempted to apologize for it. Not even apologize, but she attempted to walk it back 3 days after. But that's, too little, too late. At the end of the day, you cannot come out saying that someone engaged in sex acts, engaged in sex trafficking, engaged in all these different things when you have 0 facts to back that up. You know that you're lying, and that's exactly what she did.
Okay, so Shekinah said, we already know what she said. She put the last coffin on put that nail on that coffin, or whatever the word is. But the point is that Shekinah, she told on T.I. and Tiny, by trying to come at Sabrina, you were involving yourself in what's going on. Don't come out here talking about you don't know what they were doing when you were on the show, VH1. Everybody thought that you was somebody's girlfriend. And I won't be surprised if Shekinah and Tiny are, fucking each other, which probably has happened, but again, Shekinah. Okay, let's hear it.
She wanted hits, she wanted Facebook likes, she wanted Instagram likes, and she got them, so now she got most of them.
And just to confirm, none of these women consented to the sexual acts that were against them.
You can't consent if you were drugged. And I consent if someone put Molly into a drink. I don't think the drink of choice for a lot of them, from what they told me, was Sprite. Get a kind of Sprite. Told them to drink out of this kind of Sprite. You cannot consent if someone, in the case of J.Lo 2, which happened in LA, you cannot consent if Tiny spikes Patron and hands you Patron and tells you to sip this, and then all of a sudden you lose control of your decision-making skills.
I know for a fact that does happen because, like when you're in a situation where you're drinking and you're tipsy, you might be smoking, your inhibitions are down, and anybody can slip you a drug, and then you are basically you're being drugged, and it's not anything that's done at the time. It might not seem like it's malicious, but after the fact you realize what just happened. And this does happen to a lot of people, men and women. It's not just women who get sexually raped or date raped. Men get date raped too. So
that want to protect them from T.I. and Tiny and their associates, and also to preserve the investigations and to preserve the integrity of the investigations. I also did not provide any of the witness identifications or any of the evidence that I have to substantiate any of the women's stories. And the jurisdictions, again, it's Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. I sent a letter over to them. I sent it over to the U.S. Attorney's Office, in particular for the trafficking and the trafficking claim, the sex trafficking claim, as well as to the Georgia State AG's office, and they can pass it on to whichever prosecutorial offices within the city of Atlanta if they want to.
Okay, so like I said, the United States, courts, they're coming after T.I. and Tiny. They're not coming after them because of what they did. They don't give a fuck about how many young women were being sex trafficked. They don't give a fuck about how many, children were hurt by these people. They are coming after them because they want to take their fortunes. They're going to take all their money and basically distribute it amongst themselves. Lawyers, the victims. But most of the people that are going to keep that money is going to, it's going to be the lawyers and the judges, all those people. That the T.I. and Tiny, they're going to lose their fortune. That doesn't mean that they're going to be. They might end up with living in the ghetto somewhere, if it goes the way it seems like it's going. They're going to have to move somewhere. They might have to leave the country.
I know that the federal claims have a statute of limitations for 10 years. And I believe that some of the women still fall within the statute of limitations. I know that the claim for Georgia's state charge, for the rape charge, is 15 years. And I know that at least 5 of the women fall within that statute of limitation. And, 4 of the women fall within that statute of limitation. I know that the one for California, I believe that her rape charge still falls within California's statute of limitations as well.
I'm sorry, one follow-up question. Did you refer anything to the Fulton County District Attorney's Office?
I chose not to.
Okay, so, I am not interested in any of the details I don't even want to see the victims. I really don't. I'm not ever. I don't want to. I don't want to hear these women, you know, crying, because the truth is that, you know, I know that that they were raped. I know that it was abuse. I know that it was wrong. But I also know that they could have talked long. They could have been one person or two or three could have been making noise. I mean, I don't understand how you've been raping people for decades and nobody knows about it. That's why I have issues with these victims that come in 15 years later to talk about how I was raped and you know, I mean, come on, 15 years. It took you 15 years to defend yourself? So that's the issue. Did you even know you were raped before someone told you that you were raped? So 15 years go by and nobody told you that you were raped. It took 15 years for you to figure out that you were raped by T.I. and Tiny. That's where I have a problem.
And the reason why I chose not to refer to the Fulton County District Attorney's Office is because I lack confidence in the local authorities, and this for good reason. There was a young man who was 8 years old who had a gun put to his head by T.I.
Okay, so this is why I made this video. I want you guys to hear this again. Okay, I'm going to repeat it.
I'm sorry, one follow-up question. Did you refer anything to the Fulton County District Attorney's Office?
I chose not to, and the reason why I chose not to...
Okay, so this is a real thing that happened, but, you know, I don't understand how these people have done so many horrible things and nobody... VH1 gives them a show. So you gotta literally be a rapist, a criminal, you know, you gotta be a drug addict, or you gotta be like a whole bunch of, you know, street thug, so you can get a show on VH1. Because VH1 seems to like to hire criminals. They're giving a show to Cardi B. She's getting a show. Now Cardi B is also a criminal. She has the same type of she's got some questionable sex crime history. So VH1, if you see anybody on VH1, you better believe they're criminals. VH1, in order for you to get a show on VH1, you gotta be a criminal.
I refer to the Fulton County District Attorney's Office because I lack confidence in the local authorities, and there's a good reason. There was a young man who was 8 years old who had a gun put to his head by T.I. His mother called the police. His mother had this incident occurred at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. His mother called the police. His mother was 7 months pregnant at the time. His mother went into premature labor as a result of this. T.I. put a gun to the 8-year-old kid's head, to a 6-year-old kid's head, and to a 4-year-old kid's head, because he had 2 little brothers with him. He's now in his 20s. I spoke with him, and I submitted a FOIA request, and I got a copy of the police report. There is nothing in the police report that indicates what occurred on that day, which is very troubling to me. The police report literally says that this was a breaking and entering, a kidnapping, and I believe it's mentioned battery. No evidence, no investigation occurred, no detail of the accounts, nothing. This kid, who is now in his 20s, can remember down to the cereal he was eating at the time. Yet, and I'm sorry for raising my voice because this upsets me, yet the Cobb County Police Department had zero record of his account in this statement, and no kind of investigation was conducted. So
listen to this. Don't anybody who hears this video, T.I. put a gun to 3 little children. They weren't even teenagers. They were children. And the mother was pregnant. And, you know, the idea of anyone putting a gun to a child's head is permanent damage. Like, it's such a traumatic thing that happens to a child when they experience that level of violence that, I mean, I don't even know what to say. But again, you know what? In this world, it doesn't matter if you're a criminal. You could be very successful as a fucking criminal. And not only a criminal, a deviant. You know, someone who goes around raping and punching and hitting, and children are even involved in the mess. So I want to know how this story is going to be told. Because this is one hell of a story. This is like Shakespeare. A total Shakespearean play. Or like a Greek tragedy. This is a total Greek tragedy.
Mum always says that even as a baby, other babies were crying and in a sort of monotonal way. But if I'd call out to Mum rather than Mum, like other kids, I would go, Mum, you know, sort of, Mum.